Thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to speak. I have two questions. How would your financial health, Mayor, be affected if your business was shut down for a whole year with no hopes of reopening? And why does the city still refuse to inspect Black Rock Brewing? Thank you.
You're welcome. It's kind of obvious if you're asking me personally,
Yes.
I be eating hot dogs all the time, or visiting my children. So, and I understand where you're coming from, and I think we're all pretty much aware of the business that you're asking about. There's a lot there, Ray, that there's a back and forth. There's times we've offered and Bobby has declined. It's also tied up in a legal thing that Bobby has taken us to the courthouse with. It behooves the city to have him open. He's a tax-paying business. It behooves the city to get a business over that gave him several $100,000 in property and grant money. So there's not an action to want to keep him closed. There's nothing but an ongoing back and forth. And if Justin, I don't know if Justin's here, how many different plans have come in and out that doesn't like it this way, wants it that way, and it goes back and forth. And every time he does that, it delays us trying to help him get open. I know I see Chief Mustician's in the back with a hand up. So there's a little more to it, Ray. I mean, like I said, again, it does the city no good to keep him closed. I mean, I've gotten, messages through his brother that, back and forth. And when we've offered things, Bobby's turned it down. He won't tell anybody that because there's other parts of the project he wants to continue that don't fit city code. And then when he tries to work it back, it delays it, it just delays it again and again. There's no political thing going on here. I mean, I'm the same party as Bobby, and I was a strong advocate with Bobby until I had to keeping track of emails, one completely flip-flopped than a previous one. So it doesn't do us any good to keep them closed. We want to get them open. We want to get them open safe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Chief, if you want to add anything, I think we're good here, but
I think you covered everything. The big point is, I, or code enforcement, cannot inspect the building without an approved set of plans. There is no approved set of plans, and he has turned down offers for us to try to go back to original.
And I have heard that there is a set of plans in place, so there's something going on.
The plans that were submitted were rejected by the appeal board, and he has elected to take it to school county court. So right now there's no approved set of plans.
Well, of course he had to go forward to court, because you guys weren't doing anything.
We followed
That was not true.
the code to the T.
And he says he did, so I wonder.
He did not.
Here's what happened. Bobby was given a temporary license to open under a set of plans. At the time of the fire, all of the code violations came out. Bobby could have very easily fixed those violations and reopened under the plans that he wanted to, or that he was originally authorized to do so. Instead, he wanted to increase the occupancy of that building. And increasing it requires him to have a sprinkler system. And that's where the whole fight comes in. That's where he had to go to appeals. He could have very easily opened. He could have been open within 10 days. But he opted to go much higher and bigger, which required him to have a fire suppression system. And at that time, at the time that he opened, the Trump administration had a tax relief program for small business owners that allowed them to write off $3 million, up to $3 million for the installation of sprinkler systems. I went to him and gave him that information. He did nothing. He could have got a sprinkler system for free. Did nothing with it. But when the Dornans were opening Arrow events, Mr. Doran came to me and started asking about a tax abatement. And I was a little confused at first, and I said, explain to me what it is you're talking about. He said, Bobby Weaver told me to call you about getting a sprinkler system for free. Arrow has a sprinkler system. Chopping Block has a sprinkler system, all installed under the same tax program that the Trump administration authored. Mr. Weaver chose not to get one for free.
Well, is there no chance of coming together as a business and city administration to get this place opened up?
He wants to fight us at every corner. And we are bound by codes. It's our responsibility to maintain safe environments for the people within this community. If you look historically, some of the most tragic fires that have occurred in the United States have occurred in nightclubs. Some of the most lethal fires in American history have been in nightclubs. We have to abide by the law. He wants to argue the law, and now it's tied up in court. And he took it to court, not us. We offered many, many times. The other thing is that, and people say that we don't want this. Bobby Weaver was given over $200,000 in property by the city of Pottsville. By the city. That building, the Black Rock Building, and the mansion next door, which under the agreement with the redevelopment authority, he had until last September to turn that mansion into a distillery. And nothing's happened on that.
And we have not pursued that.
But Bobby has been given the largest gift in terms of money and real estate that the city has ever given out to anyone. And as the mayor said, it does not behoove us. It doesn't help anybody in this room that lives and pays taxes in this city to have any building vacant, whether it's a house, an apartment, or a business. Because for every vacant property there is, all of us are paying that much more in taxes.
That's true.
It does not help us at all.
Thank you.
To clarify, Councilman, if I understood you right, if he would have chosen to stay within whatever the occupancy was, that lower number, be it whatever it was, he would not have been required to have a fire sprinkler system.
Correct.
That is correct.
The sprinkler system came into play because he wanted to increase the occupancy to greater than 100 people and open the second floor.
Okay, thank you.
If he would have fixed all his violations, he could have been open in 10 days.
And we have had meetings with Bobby's team, his architect and lawyer, and our code guys, and our lawyer, and myself and a good bit of other city council to try to come to terms. I mean, even down to talking to, at one point I said that his architect, there was a 12 square foot, because it's a number in square footage, right? 12 square foot of space varied the number. And I said to the architect, I said, 12 square foot. Bobby sells a lot of swag. He sells his, Black Rock shirts, hats. I said, boy, I think a wall space that would be about 6 foot long and 2 feet deep would take care of that, don't you think? That appears to be 12 square foot. There's your number drops, and he's open. We opened him from the beginning as it was, no sprinkler system. was perfectly wonderful until he wanted to increase the numbers and get into second floor use and so on. And then, you know, plans have run amok since, so we, you know, again, we want it open as much as, I almost tended to think we want it open more than Bobby wants it open, because we were willing to go back and say, hey, you were open this way, you had a successful gig going on down here. You know, it was obvious every weekend, you know, and a lot of weeknights, people like sitting indoors or sitting out around the fire. And it was, you know, it was nice, it was working well. So, you know, we offered that back to them, and like, you know, everybody has said here, within 10 days, he'd have been open. And now we're, you know, playing volleyball back and forth over the net with this plan, that plan. How about if we do it this way? How about if we do it that way? And to be perfectly honest, Bobby's stubborn attitude of I'm right, you're wrong. And we tried to work that line to get him open.
Okay, thank you.
End of story. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Go ahead.